I am sitting alone in my room this last night of the old year, waiting for midnight. It has been the most eventful year of my life. I began it a poor bachelor student with no definite plans or expectations. I end it a master and tutor in Christchurch with an income of more than £300 a year, and the course of mathematical tuition marked out by God's providence for at least some years to come. Great mercies, great failings, time lost, talents misapplied. Such has been the past year. I am now concentrating mainly on my work as mathematical lecturer at Christchurch. In my manuscript, on the introduction of a fourth coordinate into algebraic geometry, I have devised methods for symbolizing points in the fourth dimension, and I am attempting to construct diagrams showing how such points can be represented visually. I am weary of lecturing and discouraged. It is thankless, uphill work, goading unwilling men to learning what they have no taste for, to the inevitable neglect of others who really want to get on. Question. When we are dreaming, and, as often happens, have a dim consciousness of the fact and try to wake, do we not say and do things which in waking life would be insane? May we not then sometimes define insanity as an inability to distinguish which is the waking and which is the sleeping life? We often dream without the least suspicion of unreality. Sleep hath its own world, and it is often as lifelike as the other. I am expected, by the terms of my studentship, to proceed to holy orders. The first step in this process is being ordained Deacon of the Church of England. I am somewhat reluctant to take this step as I feel doubtful about my worthiness to make this commitment. My own personal religious convictions are not in doubt, but my practice of attending the theatre is an activity not deemed appropriate by some people for an ordained member of the church. I will confer with the Bishop of Oxford and my friend Liddon on this matter. In Darwin's On the Origin of Species, his natural selection is insufficient alone to account for the universe. I believe in the perfect compatibility with the creative and guiding power of God, and I look for a scientific view that harmonizes with my Christian belief. 6 of my sisters sharing a new book with my youngest brother, Edwin, in the drawing room at Croft Rectory. My brother Wilfred met with a strange accident in catching a ball at cricket. It struck between the 3rd and 4th fingers, tearing a wound in the hand. The Smith daughters, much what one might expect from their free country life. Strong, active, and handsome, and with a strong aversion to books. This is my first single portrait of my youngest sister, Henrietta. She is now 16 years old. Fanny Smith is probably the most attractive of the family and enjoys sitting for my camera. 2 of my Lutwidge aunts, Henrietta and Margaret, agree to play chess for my camera. Anne, Fanny, Johanna, and Maria Smith are very pleasant and uniformly kind people. In his hand are the deep places of the earth. The strength of the hills is his also. The sea is his, and he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for he is our God, and we are the people of his pasture, and the sheep of his hand. Today, if ye will hear his voice, I enjoy very much drawing from life. John Ruskin, who is always willing to assist me with his valuable advice on any point of artistic criticism, told me that I had not enough talent to make it worth my while to devote much time to sketching. But I will continue to sketch for my own pleasure. I made a proposal to the Common Room for a special volume of extracts from Punch for the benefit of members. The proposal was thrown out. I will continue to collect extracts for my own amusement, for my scrapbooks. I already have a number of comic references to Shakespeare that are witty and entertaining. The main political cartoons are delightfully drawn by such excellent artists as Messrs. Leach and Tenniel. Henry Liddon, a man of deeply held religious views, one of my closest and most valued friends. John Rodham Spencer Stanhope is now painting as a pupil of George Frederick Watts. Dr. Friedrich Max Müller from Leipzig is a professor of modern European languages. Christchurch recently awarded him an honorary master's degree, so we now see him in Common Room from time to time. Agnes Grace Weld has a very striking and attractive face. I sent a print of her as Little Red Riding Hood for Mr. Tennyson's acceptance. He pronounced the portrait, indeed, a gem. I have composed these verses to accompany the photograph. Into the wood, the dark, dark wood, forth went the happy child, and, in its stillest solitude, talked to herself and smiled, and closer drew the scarlet hood about her ringlets wild. And now at last she threads the maze, and now she need not fear. Frowning, she meets the sudden blaze of moonlight falling clear. nor trembles she, nor turns, nor stays, although the wolf be near. Annie Coates, the daughter of a local tradesman, was pleased to sit for my camera during a recent visit back to Croft. A shadow flits before me, not thou, but like to thee. Ah, Christ, that it were possible for one short hour to see the souls we loved, that they might tell us what and where they be. 'Tis a morning pure and sweet, and a dewy splendor falls on the little flower that clings to the turrets on the walls. 'Tis a morning pure and sweet, and the light and shadow fleet. She is walking in the meadow, and the woodland echo rings. In a moment we shall meet. She is singing in the meadow, and the rivulet at her feet ripples on in light and shadow to the ballad that she sings. I called on Mrs. Liddell at the deanery and arranged for her 3 lovely children, Ina, Alice and Edith, to be photographed tomorrow in the deanery garden. Miss Prickett kindly consented to accompany them. Reginald Southey will come for a short time in the afternoon to play chess and to help in arranging the pictures. The improvement in my fortunes has allowed me to buy a photographic apparatus, complete with the latest design of camera, with plates and lenses and all the chemicals and equipment I need for the wet collodion process that I have adopted. The camera alone cost me £25, a considerable sum to invest. The promise it affords me of establishing new contacts within the academic community and society in general, as well as being an outlet for my artistic expression, will make the expense worthwhile. It is my one recreation, and I think it should be done well. Anyone that has ever loved one true child will have known the awe that falls on one in the presence of a spirit fresh from God's hands, on whom no shadow of sin has yet fallen. "Tell us a story," said the March Hare. "Yes, please do," pleaded Alice. "And be quick about it," added the Hatter, "or you'll be asleep again before it's done." "Once upon a time there were 3 little sisters," the Dormouse began in a great hurry, "and their names were Elsie, Lacey and Tilly, and they lived at the bottom of a well." "Oh, my ears and whiskers! How late it's getting! Oh, dear!" First, a piece of glass he coated with collodion and plunged it in a bath of lunar caustic, carefully dissolved in water. There he left it certain minutes.
I'm afraid Dinah the cat will miss me very much tonight. I hope they'll remember her saucer of milk at tea time. Oh, Dinah, my dear, I wish you were down here with me. There are no mice in the air, I'm afraid, but you might catch a bat, and that's very like a mouse, you know. But do cats eat bats, I wonder? Do cats eat bats? Do bats eat cats?
From his shoulder, Hiawatha took the camera of rosewood, made of sliding, folding rosewood, neatly put it all together. In its case it lay compactly, folded into nearly nothing. But he opened out the hinges, pushed and pulled the joints and hinges till it looked all squares and oblongs, like a complicated figure in the second book of Euclid. This he perched upon a tripod, crouched beneath its dusky cover, stretched his hand, enforcing silence, said, "Be motionless, I beg you." Mystic awful was the process.
I think Mr. Dawson's hair wants cutting. Mr. Dodson says I must try to keep quite still. It is a very long time to keep still. It is almost impossible not to breathe or blink or shift position. Mr. Dodson is determined to get his pictures just right.
Miss Prickett has been crocheting for a very long time. I wonder if she'll ever finish.
Secondly, my Hiawatha made with cunning hand a mixture of the acid pyrogallic and of glacial acetic and of alcohol and water. This developed all the picture.
And being so many different sizes in a day, it's very confusing.
It isn't.
Well, perhaps you haven't found it so yet. But when you have to turn into a chrysalis, you will someday, you know, all caterpillars do. And then after that into a butterfly, I should think you'll feel a little queer, wouldn't you?
Not a bit.
Edmund Yates, the editor of The Train, is going to use my verses on solitude. He proposes that I should adopt some nom de plume. 4 names have occurred to me, all based on my Christian names. Edgar Cuthwellis, Edgar U.C. Westhill, Lewis Carroll, and Lewis Carroll. I will leave the choice to Mr. Yates. I love the stillness of the wood. I love the music of the rill. I love to couch in pensive mood upon some silent hill. Scarce heard, beneath yon arching trees, the silver-crested ripples pass, and, like a mimic brook, the breeze whispers among the grass. Here from the world I win release, nor scorn of men nor footstep rude break in to mar the holy peace of this great solitude. Ye golden hours of life's young spring, of innocence, of love and truth, bright, beyond all imagining, thou fairy dream of youth. I'd give all wealth that years have piled, the slow result of life's decay, to be once more a little child, for one bright summer day.